Well, welcome to our inaugural podcast. I'm Dr. Qureshi. I'm joined by the illustrious Chef Mel, the greatest chef in the world.
Oh, Doc, stop, man! Don't say all that, man.
You are the executive chef of the Washington
I'm
Commanders.
I'm just a chef for the people, man. I'm the chef for the people. I'm chef for everybody.
You're a chef, but you're the greatest chef that I've ever met.
You know what? I appreciate those kind words.
So thank you for joining us at our inaugural podcast. So Mel is really big in the Washington Commanders community. He cooks for all the current and former players. You do a lot of private catering as well. And you're a big wellness buff as well, as I've come to learn about you.
I'm big on wellness, man. Health is wealth, you know. You gotta really stay on top of yourself.
So just briefly describe to us how does a young man out of Brooklyn, because you're originally from Brooklyn, I recall.
Straight from the projects.
Yeah. So how do successful guys like you and Jay-Z come out of Brooklyn and end up in the successful positions you guys are today? Like how did it happen? How'd you end up here?
Well, man, just want more out of life. You know, when you come from where I came from, you want to kind of like just grow. It's basically just grow. There's nothing else to really put out of, like, you come from your product or your environment and change up from all the things that you don't like and just go into something different. Step out on faith, kind of like just jump out there and just do something different. So all the guys that you see coming from the city or any type of, place, they change their whole style up by just doing something different.
At what point in your childhood did you, or when did you realize you wanted to be a chef? Was it in your childhood, teen years? What was a moment where you went, aha, I'm going to cook the best lamb in the world one day?
Man, I've always been a foodie. I always loved food.
Okay.
The thing was, growing up in Brooklyn, I didn't really have all the options. Like, I was a little more poor at that time, so it was more like options was pizza, wings, Chinese food, things like that I was eating. So, but then that what made me become working on the chef. My grandmother inspired me. So my grandmother, like, once I was upstate New York, she kind of like got me in the kitchen. I kind of picked up a lot of habits from her. Cutting collard greens and cleaning chicken and everything.
Soul food, so to speak.
Yeah. Your stuff is soul food.
I grew up in PG County. I'm familiar. I'm familiar with the cuisine of the DMV. Yeah. Awesome. So what is your favorite dish?
I don't really have a favorite dish.
You like lamb. I know you do. I've heard
I'm sure I like food. I like food. Actually, it's not like I like lamb, only. I like different foods. So, like, you like lamb. I don't like lamb.
Well, I'm okay with lamb. I've heard legendary things about your lamb.
Oh, my lamb is fire.
I've heard of this.
My lamb is fire. But like when it comes down to food, I cook for everyone. So I don't have a favorite because I like to explore, kind of do different styles of cooking, different cuisines and flavors, and just mix them up, fusion.
Yeah.
Just put together, I might put Asian and Jamaican together. Or,
oh, right.
Peruvian and something else. So I like to do things like that, like to put them all in.
So how do you learn these cuisines? Do you kind of just go online, or do you travel to those countries? How far do you go? Are you like an Anthony Bourdain type?
Man,
Anthony Bourdain was the baddest.
He was bad,
dude.
I'm looking forward to traveling and really tapping in,
because that's what he used to do. He used to be
that's the best way of getting it.
Exactly.
The best way of getting
Anthony Bourdain was like, I really like this linguine, and then a week later he's doing an episode in southern Italy, and he's doing it there.
The best form of knowing something is going straight to the source.
Yeah.
Going straight to it. So whatever culture, whatever you in, tap into that culture. That's my advice.
Man, that's amazing.
Yeah.
What is your, outside of American cuisines? What's your favorite? What is your personal favorite ethnic cuisine?
Asian.
Is it? Okay.
Love Asian.
Okay. Spicy or no spicy?
No spicy.
No spicy?
Nah.
So Asia's kind of bipolar, right? Asia, especially East Asia, is very, very spicy.
Yeah.
Asia, so Southeast Asia gets very spicy, but you go north and central, it cools down.
Well, I go to the cool down side.
Awesome. In terms of your history, you and I talk frequently. We're very good friends, you and I, and one thing I've always noticed is you are really into wellness, and you have to be, right? Because that's kind of your job.
Mm-hmm.
So Mr. Mel, he's the executive chef of the Commander. So you got to feed those players. You can't let them get carried away. So you're tasked with making food that's not only delicious, but you also have to make food that's nutritious for them. Do you work with a dietitian over there, or is it all on you?
So I don't work in the, or I don't work with
Okay.
them like directly. I work
Okay.
outside.
Outside. Okay.
Outside of them. So outside, what I do is I do work with the dietitian and
Sure.
everything of the team.
Yeah.
But I also like on my side, I actually like look and do my research on what these guys need in their body and what
Okay.
you know what they like. Say some guy coming off an injury or somebody needs some type of protein, certain
Okay.
proteins in their body. So I'm all into that, like basically like proteins and
Macro
macros.
counting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like basically like how much or
Anti-inflammatories,
everything.
all of that, and
Yeah,
injuries. You
yeah,
think?
definitely information. Want to make sure to stay away from anything that's in here and keep them from getting that.
Such an interesting topic. So you're talking about injury. So you as a chef have to adjust the diet based on the situation.
Mhm.
So if it's a skinny guy who wants to get big, you're naturally going to guide them towards
Yeah,
dishes that will do that. On the flip side, if
meat and
someone
potatoes.
correct. So if someone is injured, they've sprained their ankle, they come back from a fracture, you have to cook a certain. So what types of foods do you recommend for your injured
Well,
players?
that's when I go into little different ingredients. I'm going into ginger, I'm going into turmeric, I'm
Sure.
going into those ingredients, then going right into that, and I'm going into even cilantro, like take out heavy metals and parsley. Those ingredients right there will actually help the body detoxify and take away some of those inflammations or different things that you're going through.
Do you ever use tamarind?
Yes.
Tamarind, turmeric, and all that.
Yeah.
So interestingly, there was a study done a few years back, and they found that I guess certain Asian cultures had decreased inflammatory markers. They felt a lot of it was due to the use of uh, tamarind and turmeric in particular in the diets. So that's where this kind of craze kind of originated from. Was maybe these foods can be helpful. Inflammation is kind of a tricky subject. On the one hand, inflammation, most Americans have a negative view of it. They think
Hmm.
inflammation equals bad. Inflammation equals pain. But inflammation is also involved in the healing process. Unfortunately, the same mediators that create pain also, there are other mediators that are involved in healing.
Hmm.
So let me ask you a question. I'm Jaden Daniels. I just got tackled really hard and I have a bad shoulder strain.
We don't
I
want to say nothing like that. We don't want to. We
No,
don't want
no.
to.
Don't jinx
No, we're not
it.
gonna
We don't
jinx
want
it.
to
We're
use
not
it. We
gonna
don't
jinx
want
it.
to use.
Nothing.
No,
We
we
don't
love
want to
him.
I'm
use that.
laughing.
I don't like. I don't like that. I don't like that one.
No,
Just say is a
Yeah.
person.
there's a person. Okay,
Is a
fine.
person that
There's,
gets
there's a person
injured.
who gets injured, and it's
Yes.
not Jane Dale because we love him and we and
We don't want to put no names on
we need
nobody.
him to
We
be
don't want no
perfect.
names. We just saying a person.
Exactly.
You will be at our next pinata.
Oh, exactly. No. Okay, so there's a person out there on the team who we need, and it's not Jaden Dale because he's never going to get hurt. We love him, but they just got injured. That you were watching the game on a Sunday. They got tackled really hard. It's a really bad shoulder strain. Shoulder strain. So he comes up to you and he says, "Mel, what can I have for lunch? I'm very hungry. I'm a guy who normally likes eating typical American diets. I love eating hot dogs and pizza. Can I have that, or
No.
what do you recommend for me? I have
No.
this bad shoulder. I got tackled really hard
Well,
against.
definitely. My recommendation is basically stay away from processed foods. Number
Okay,
one, no processed foods,
what's
no
processed
fast
foods?
food, fast food. You talk hot dogs. You talking those sandwiches, deli meat.
Sure.
All those different. It's like it gets deeper, but you just want to just have chicken breast, good old ribeye, some sweet potatoes, some green beans, some type of greens,
Okay.
broccoli or something like that.
Sure.
Broccoli actually is a really good vegetable, like to
Yeah.
eat daily.
Agreed.
Um, the compounds in there is like the amazing, it's just really good. I don't want to get too deep in it, like
No,
I'm
we
like the
want
compound.
you to
I
be.
want to
We're
like the compound.
we're not just an
The,
aesthetic play. We're also a
the
wellness center. We want to go deep. So basically, you would stop this player, whoever it is, and say, "Look, let's take a break from pizza and hot dogs, and let's
yeah.
do this.
Well,
Perhaps a
so the
salad."
thing is, what you eat plays a big factor in your body.
Correct.
What you put into it, sometimes it don't. What I want to say, the effects of it don't happen right away, but a lot of things catch up with you later in life.
Sure.
So, diabetes don't come overnight.
Correct. Correct. This was
Uh,
years in the making.
yeah. So all these different complications that you have in your body doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Just like if somebody's a smoker, they're not gonna get any type of effects from that until later on in life.
Yeah. It's
So
cumulative. These are cumulative
yeah.
problems. Yeah. No, I totally agree. Um, so we hear terms a lot of fast food and processed foods. What is a processed food? Like, what is the definition of a processed food versus an unprocessed food?
Okay, something that will go through a machine and all that,
Correct.
and do all kind of
Whatever someone
magic.
had to do something
Yeah,
to
do
it
something to it. Do a
is
magic. Yeah, yeah,
processed.
yeah. It's magic that they
Yeah.
doing. They
Like a
making something.
banana that I pull from the tree is unprocessed. I just pulled the
Nah,
banana and we're
that's
eating
right.
it. That's
That's what you
unprocessed.
call organic.
Correct. Yeah. So that's unprocessed, but process is where if I'm using a machine at a factory,
Yeah.
like
Yes,
Pringles.
fillers.
Pringles is a great example.
Oh, that's not even chips.
Correct. I was going to ask
You know.
you. So you know your stuff. So what are Pringles made out of?
All kind of different stuff to keep it together. It's all, so basically like they have so many different ingredients. If you look on the box, I mean the back of a lot of ingredients,
Yeah.
you'd be surprised. Like, oh my God, I'm not eating this no more. Don't even look at the calories. Look at what's in it. You're like,
There we
oh
go.
man. And those ingredients are like for coloring. They say coloring or for bonding. So like to keep it together and everything. So all these different things. It should say potato and seasoning or something like that. That's chips. But those are not chips. Pringles are not chips. The way how they made it is you won't eat it. You won't even taste it no more. You won't even do it.
Are Pringles actually made out of potato?
No,
Correct.
not at all. Not a single potato from Idaho is in there.
Yeah, no, that part is true. That blew my mind. I always grew up enjoying Pringles, but as I watch these documentaries on how these food empires began, and it's just remarkable. What made these people, super mega millionaires was they made it convenient. I couldn't imagine in 1855, you and I. Well, I wouldn't even be allowed in this country in those days. We
You said
wouldn't.
1855.
Yeah, we
I
wouldn't.
couldn't even look back at us. 1855.
We wouldn't
Man,
be
how
allowed.
did you get that? How did you get that date? Man, he went back in history like way back on the timeline. He went back on the history timeline, 1855.
Yeah, I know.
Shoot.
But it's 1855, and I'm like, oh man, I'm hungry. Let's go grab a bite. There's no concept of let's grab a bite, because bite of what? You have to cook. You have
Yeah.
to make something.
Mhm.
So if we're in a rush, yeah, we're just gonna grab the banana, eat it, or the apple, and that's it. That's it, bro.
Well, this time, I mean, from back in that time and now, we have so many different options and so many companies coming out with so many different creativity of foods and everything that tastes good, but it's not healthy for you.
Sure.
Takis, all those different brands of chips and things that we feed our kids, chicken nuggets and everything.
Oh,
All
yeah.
these different things that we're doing. I try like to avoid that. I don't recommend nobody eating that stuff. So I try to prepare great food, like healthier food. That's my opinion. But people can do whatever they want. Like I said, I had McDonald's before.
Sure.
I used to, enjoy it until I start to do my investigation and understand more about what I'm actually eating. And I'm like, oh no, this is the process of that is just I don't even want to just name that.
Yeah. Correct.
fast
There's
food.
a lot of
There's
bad
a lot of
guys,
them. So it's
including
not
Chipotle.
even
Somehow
just-
Chipotle convinced the public they're a
Yeah.
safety, they're a health.
It's not even.
And that's not true either.
my thing is grow your own food, and it's like grow your own
Sure.
vegetables and everything. That's my recommendation of it. But if you don't have time for that, just go to your farmer's market. Go to your
Sure.
source out good, healthy foods and everything. You might pay a little bit more, but it's worth it.
Vegetables from a farmer's market, is it going to be is the quality the same quality we get from the Walmart?
Well, you're going to run into pesticides and things like that with all different farmers and everything. You're going to run into that situation time to time. Like you're going to run into it. Just wash your vegetables off really well, but you're not going to deal with a lot of so much of it.
Sure.
It's going to be less. So I can't say that it's like 100% pesticides and everything, but I know that it's still going to have some on there because it's not organic.
But pesticides did help humanity to some degree. We were able to mass produce food. We're able to have avocados all year round because we use some of these products to preserve these foods and transport it. But I guess let me ask you a more, controversial questions. How do we get here? If I watch movies, if I watch I was watching the other day, Police Academy from the 80s. Something struck me. The so-called fat person, the fat person in that that movie, he's actually skinnier than the average guy we see, here in our
Hmm.
world now. The world has changed. Everyone there was very skinny and had a certain physique. Almost everyone kind of looked like that, but now we have bigger people. How did we get here, do you think?
Well, I'd say this: with when it come down to obesity, um, it's a real touchy subject because it's like you want to eat, you want to enjoy food, but the problem is that what we have access to and what we around and what we see on commercials and everything and what's kind of like in our mindset is really destroying us
Okay.
slowly. So what we got to do is you got to wake up and kind of like get into more of your health and really, like wake yourself up. Like, you know what? Let me eat a banana. Let me eat some blueberries. Let me eat some strawberries in the morning. That's my breakfast. That's my power meal. Let me do something like that. You kind of gotta shift the narrative of like, oh, I just need food. I need something because that happens to me sometimes. Like I'm like, my blood sugar low. I'm like my body getting low. I'm like I need some food, but it's like then you smell that McDonald's or you smell that Burger King or smell some type of aroma that comes in like it just hit you and
You
that's
try
just
to read it
senses.
in.
But so what I go deeper in, and that's another subject, parasites. Parasites are also what kind of triggers your brain to eat these things. So they
Interesting.
kind of like they get
Mm.
into you like, they talk to you. They're like, oh, pick up that cookie. You know what I'm saying? Or go get this cake and everything, or whatever dessert, whatever. And it's fine to having dessert time to time, but in moderation. Everything in moderation. And the one thing I learned was like when I had papaya and ate the papaya seeds, it actually cleaned me out and actually like flushed out all the different parasites out of my body. Felt a lot better, and I was feeling cleaner. So I recommend people doing like those type of detoxes of eating fruit and vegetables that actually flushes those things out, even garlic.
Mhm.
So when I did that, that was time to time I was putting a lot of paperwork in, but other than that, it actually works. It actually because the thing is, people like don't want to use the restroom. I'm like, you should want to use the restroom 4 or 5 times a day.
Yeah.
You know, you want to clean your
If you
body
have a
up.
higher fiber
Well,
diet,
I mean, you
you
want to
are
have,
going to
yeah,
be,
you want to have great, you want to have your fiber content. The number one thing on a food pyramid should be fiber. Fiber should be up there,
yeah.
right there with protein,
Well,
because,
that original pyramid was a complete
well, yeah,
mistake.
well, that's what I'm saying. But like,
The government got it
I just think
so
that,
wrong in
yeah,
the 90s.
I just think
We
that
grew up with that crap. And
Yeah.
I remember
yeah,
bread was good, remember?
yeah,
Bread
Mhm.
was one of the good ones. They wanted you to have that bread, and
that's sugar.
that got us.
That's
That
tons
nailed
of
us.
sugar, right? That's a sugar
That nailed
sponge right
us.
there.
Yeah. You know, I think part of the reason we got to where we got to was we we just didn't have we
The
just didn't
resources.
we just didn't have an impartial government. That a lot of these USDA and all these organizations, they're funded by politicians who were paid by big food,
Well,
these big food
I heard
places.
even more. Like some of the farmers got paid off to not, produce a lot of stuff. So it's a lot of weird stuff
There's
going
two
on.
kinds of farmers out there. There's your
Yeah,
normal farmer
yeah.
who's an honest guy, and then you have these Monsanto kind of evil, kind of big farm kind of guys.
Mhm.
Those are the guys who are more likely to put
Have you ever been on a farm?
yes.
What was your take on it? Like, what did you experience in the farm?
I've been on different kinds of farms. I've even been on Amish farms.
Mm.
Um, my first, I don't know, maybe it's just placebo. I'm talking now, but I always felt the foods that the Amish people made or collected was tastier, because obviously they didn't
Have you been on
use.
a farm before?
Uh,
What was your take on
I mean, it just seems clean. The farmers are happy and excited about their food as opposed to, you know, their heart is into it.
it?
They
Mm.
want to know how it tastes. They want to know how you feel when you eat it. It just seems more clean to me.
Yeah, and again, it might end up being totally the same, but I'm not so sure. Obviously, when you go to these larger, mega groceries like Super Walmart and Super Target, the food is harder, it's more stale. I guess they drove it all the way from Idaho to be here with us.
So good thing you said stale. So you're looking at freshness now. You're talking freshness.
Sure.
How do these things stay on the shelf so long
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
so this when you're talking ingredients,
Yeah.
all these different ingredients. Well, you go to the farm and everything, or you go to certain places, automatically it don't last long. You ever put fruit in the refrigerator for a couple of days, it's done. You got
It's
to eat
done.
them fruit.
Correct.
So I'm more about that. Like, I gotta have like a 1 or 2 or 3 day type of thing in there. I don't have chips and a bunch of snacks all in my house. I don't have that. I have like walnuts, pecans and everything like that to snack on. I try to stay away from the chips. Do I have chips time to time? Yeah,
Sure.
but I try to avoid it.
So, if during our conversation, I know that you also do private catering as well. So, if I'm one of your private clients and I complain to you privately, Mel, I tried to eat the berries and I tried to eat the banana,
Mm.
but the cravings are killing me. The McDonald's, the burger is calling me. How do you recommend handling cravings?
So we go back to parasites again. We go back into getting going straight to the parasites and removing them from your gut, the
Do you mean
microbiome.
parasites literally like a tapeworm, or
Yeah,
do you
so
mean
live. So you got
parasites
like
like
different parasites. So
in
like
a
so
metaphorical sense?
so parasites come from all different forms of eating and different things. We can get into it, but it gets in our body. The parasites in our body. So the way of removing them are to eat garlic. Um, I recommend turmeric as well, kombucha. So you want to have a probiotic to kind of like help your gut, and kind of like manage it. So basically, like the way how the parasites sometimes they get crazy, they get even more, they kind of take over your body and sometimes even your brain. It's because it's like you have so much of it and so much of the cravings and you have nothing else to remove them. So think about something that's keep on coming into your body and it's not removing and it's just in there. So it's not coming out at all. So one day I did an experiment to see how all this stuff, goes. And them bad boys jumped out of that. They jumped out of my body so quick
Oh
and
my
they
goodness.
just see them just swimming,
See, that's what I'm scared of.
you
I
just see
want
him
to see
swimming. I
everything.
want to see
Yeah.
it. So I
No, I
seen it
want to see
swimming. I
everything.
said, "Yes, I got a good way of getting these bad boys." And it was scary a little bit because it was like, this is real.
Yeah.
These things are really living inside of my body. And to remove them, I did my research, and garlic and all those other good things actually help. Papaya itself, papaya was one on the top. Pumpkin seeds,
Papaya, yes, because actually you're not supposed to eat papaya even when you're pregnant because you
really,
can miscarry
really.
or go into preterm labor.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah.
But see, like the papaya seeds, I eat the seeds. So I like a lot of seeds. You
Mm-hmm.
know, everything. That's nothing too. Like you're
A
not
lot of
getting
fiber in those.
fiber and everything. But see, the thing is, and now in the United States, you're getting seedless grapes, seedless this, seedless that. I'm not used to that. I'm growing up in the '80s. I'm used to seeds, spitting them out or whatever.
Yeah.
Now at least I want to grow it back. Like, try to grow it. You can't even grow it. You can't even grow it if you went seedless.
Yeah.
So it's like, how
Mhm.
do you actually reproduce a vegetable or, like not a
Those are all
vegetable, but like a fruit?
genetically engineered.
Yes.
Mhm.
So it's deeper. My thing is to basically like be careful on what you eat and how you eat. If you want to stay healthy, if you want to actually live a healthier lifestyle, um, just be more careful on what did you pick up in the
Well,
stores.
let me ask you this question. Have you been to you've been to Europe before, right?
No, but I will be going soon.
Okay. Well, I've been all over the world.
I mean, you international known,
I
man.
know.
Like, I'm from the projects, man. The only thing I seen was straight, buildings, and that's about
I'm
it.
from the airport,
You know,
bro. You the project? I'm from the airport.
nah, nah. I travel, but like I'm working on the traveling more. But actually, like being from New York, I actually had the world come to me.
True. That's a
So I
valid
have
point.
everybody
Yeah.
come from the world. So they
Right.
actually teach me all these things.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got people coming from Europe, everywhere,
Yeah, yeah.
and
There you
they
go.
actually like let me know they fresh from their country.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to learn their
That's what I
language.
can like
Yeah.
straight to.
Yeah. So when it comes to obesity, my feeling is that my belief is that in America, I think we overemphasize bad dieting and just relaxed on that one topic. If you watch the movies from the 1980s to now, what has happened? Um, for one thing, if you look at the lifestyle, and that includes diet's a huge part, but it's not the only thing. Um, People didn't work as many hours as they are now. Back then, people had their 9 to 5 type of life and they were done.
Hmm.
That's it. Now they're not done. I have seen air traffic controllers who pulled out 8, 10, 12-hour shifts and then they're driving the Uber after. I've seen loan officers doing this. Nobody has one job anymore.
You seen a chef, be in the kitchen, and then next
Well,
thing you know,
that's to
he on
be.
the farm picking out all the fruit
My
and
man,
vegetables.
see guys like you, a chef like you, you're cooking not just in the kitchen, but you're cooking in the studio. You're on TV. You
Man,
got multiple ventures. So a lot of Americans are like this, and that's why we have inflation, in my opinion. But that's a separate economic discussion. I think the average American is overworked. They're working too much.
so what is the solution on that?
Well, we'll get to that. So lifestyle, diet isn't the only problem, and I tell you this because I have personally been to Europe. I've been to France. My man, you're not going to believe me, but when you go to France around noon, people are drunk. They have drank so much champagne in the middle of the daytime. What are they eating? They're not eating like organic salad. But that's a small component of what they eat, but they're eating bread.
Yeah, shout
They're
out to the
going,
Greeks.
it's a
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
soil.
And,
yeah.
It's
and
also soil too.
yeah,
Listen,
so soil does make a difference.
it's
Yeah.
even. I'm gonna get into pizza.
Yeah.
The New York pizza
But
Yes.
Mel,
is different because of water.
Sure, but you do know pizza and McDonald's are being eaten in Greece and France. They're getting eaten there too. So why don't the people look like us? And
The ingredients, everything is ingredients.
see, again, we're blaming. I feel like we're singling out food as the only problem. But
So
I'm
what
telling
else is it?
it it's more than that. It's literally what do you do for fun? In France, people are they go to work around 8, 9 o'clock. By between 12 to 2, almost everybody in the world has a siesta except this country. We look down on. We only have a 30-minute lunch, which is not consistent with the science. The science suggests that you are supposed to take a nap in the daytime. You are supposed to take a break. Every other country, whether it's South America, Middle East, even Europe, they take some kind of siesta, whether it's an actual nap or an actual break. Between the hours of 11 to 3, every country has their own variation of it. There's some kind of break period. So the people in France are eating chocolates and drinking alcohol, which is highly processed and refined. They're eating
Dubai
bread.
chocolate.
Dubai chocolate. They're eating and drinking all these things. So why don't they look like us? Because if you look at their culture, how do they go to work? They're chasing after a tram. They're walking multiple blocks to get to where they got to get to. You see, visceral fat is the biggest problem in the U.S., which is ironic considering it actually is out of the two fat types, subcutaneous fat and visceral fat. Visceral fat technically is the easier fat to lose, but not in America. It's become the hardest and has become the most dangerous,
Why?
directly linked. Because you're not chasing, at least not in most of America. In New York, I lost a lot of weight in New York. But those guys there are chasing after trams. They're chasing after buses. They're walking longer distances. If you were to put like a pedometer on their feet and just see, then you see the real difference between all of us.
Now, what I would say that also goes into that Velisca, what's it called?
Visceral fat.
Whatever.
Visceral.
This got me stuck with Velisca, whatever. Well, what happens is also what also happens with that is stress.
Exactly.
Your stress hormones.
Yeah.
So one thing about even with myself, I had a problem with struggling with losing weight.
Sure.
Like my gut, and I'm like, okay, cut down on alcohol, cut down on this, and cut down on that. So I'm trying to figure it out.
And you lost a lot of weight,
But
by
it
the
was
way.
more. Are you trying to call me big?
No, you're big. Your muscles are big now.
Nah, but it was basically like I had to learn more. Like, okay, get more rest. Have more peace in your life, and really kind of like take care more. Like, be careful on what you're eating, moderation of these things, and it really plays a big difference. So, what I recommend for the people in the world is more like just take care of your body more. Like saying like put more time into it.
I know. So we say those things, but so my belief on why we have this problem is I think when it comes to the obesity problem, we like to say it's an individual's fault, but I think it's deeper. I think we have a structural problem. You have a structural crisis that has led
No,
to
it's
this.
Domino, man. It's Domino sugar.
It's a structural. It's a
It's
structural.
Domino sugar. That's that
It's
big place.
it's a structural problem. I think because people are working more and they're not moving as much. I mean, it all adds up. You're not moving.
Oh, that movement is big. Well,
Correct.
that's another thing. Like, taking walks,
Yes.
15, 20-minute walks, 30-minute walks,
Correct.
getting that heart rate up and everything is important. Um,
Why?
I mean, it's big time. I mean, like, you know the answer to that.
I
Like,
know. I'm asking you
you
as the
know,
expert.
oh, you asking me? I'm not an expert. I'm just a guy that's basically trying to burn some of these
No,
calories
no.
off.
So the old theory was that the old theory was, oh, it's good because as muscles are being used, calories are being spent, therefore you lose weight. But it's more nuanced than that. And for example, let's pick glucose levels. Glucose levels drop. Why? We've learned that as muscles are being used, you have glucose transporters in the cells. The gates open when you're doing some kind of physical exercise, so glucose naturally goes down. We've also learned is visceral fat, which is what most Americans are really suffering from, which is not amenable to plastic surgery. A lot of people think, oh, I have a huge gut, I'm gonna get lipo and it'll make it go away. Wrong.
I'm gonna drink some
Lipo,
Hennessy.
Hennessy makes it worse. Hennessy makes it worse. Um, you know, people think that that there's two kinds of fat, and that's what most Americans don't understand the difference. There's subcutaneous fat, which is more or less amenable to things like liposuction, but visceral fat's not. Visceral fat is a major American problem.
Hmm.
Uh, you mentioned stress hormones. You're right. Cortisol can cause what is called lipodystrophy. The body redistributes the fat to certain areas, particularly like the stomach. And what we're
And that
learning
thing
is
stuck. That thing stuck like glue.
in America it is, but if you were to go to Lebanon and play soccer with her people, it's gone. And it's fast. It goes quick. It
Well,
doesn't
I'm about
take
to
like
kick it with her people, so I can sit here
My
and
cousins are waiting.
I need to do that. I'm gonna kick it with
In
them.
fact, even your NFL buddies, and the Commanders, if you look at some of these guys' diets, they're not vegans, man. These guys are eating pounds and pounds of steak and eating
Mm.
some crazy foods, but they don't have this huge belly because guess what? They're running all those miles. They gotta lift. They're physically moving so much. Their visceral fat levels are obviously lower.
Also, like overseas, you're walking. You're doing so much walking. We
You're
walk to
chasing the bus.
restaurants. You walk to the
Restaurants are
corner
chasing the
stores.
bus.
You walk everywhere. Because most of the time, I mean, I'm from my Lebanese side of the family. We're from the village. We walk outside the village. Okay.
Yeah.
You get to know everybody. You walk to see the neighbors. You walk to go get meat pie, fresh meat pies
Hmm.
out of people's garages per
Wow.
se. They that they're making it from a certain time, or even during like Ramadan, they're making it in the middle of the night. It's the best,
Yeah.
most fun time ever. But you're getting fresh food. But you're also walking to it, as opposed to a lot of times now there's delivery. Everything's getting delivered to us as well. It's just
On the
consistently the easy way
on the
out.
one hand, it was convenience. But on the other hand, it was also
Mhm.
productivity. We are hyper productive now.
Mhm.
For the mindset of the American is, I would rather not walk for 1 hour to get my lunch because I can do more on my office. I'd rather just drive in 5 minutes. And I think this is where we start talking about like why we have structural problems. So obesity is a
You
man-made
know, you know
problem.
what you said about that. What I did was, in my journey of cooking and everything,
Sure.
I dropped off a lot of meals to people that couldn't get out to get meals. So I, get more healthier, like, like
Mhm.
giving more healthier lunch for them. Because when you're working and whatever profession you're in, it's hard for you to think about what I'm going to eat, what I'm going to have,
A thousand
and
percent.
you make bad decisions sometimes.
Mhm.
You just eating whatever is in front of you, or whatever's in the vending machine, and that right there plays a big factor where now you actually get full off of eating whatever you just ate and not really getting the nutrients that you need in your body.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So when I come in at, I try to actually push people like to eat, like, hey, look, if you ain't eat with me, just go pick up a healthier lunch or a dinner for you, so your body can actually reward you. Like,
Yeah.
you'll feel better from it. So even from a workout, you want to pack on protein,
Mhm.
heavy on
Sure.
protein, because the protein feeds the muscle.
Mhm.
So,
But
and water.
even exercise, right? So the question was asked, what is better? This has been studied.
Hmm.
Is it better to do moderate to mild exercise, like more of it per day,
Hmm.
or if you have less time, just do a really hard, high activity
What
workout
you
in
what
less
you think?
time?
I'm more of a guy, like, I'm like 15 minutes, 20
I
minutes,
think
and I'm
a
done.
high
That's
intensity and that's it.
Yeah, 15 minutes, like
Exactly what
burpees
Yeah.
or
we need.
something,
Mhm.
like, just kind of getting that heart rate up. So,
Yeah.
like,
The
uh,
studies have shown that actually when it comes to weight loss, it's
yeah, I
more
do a few
more of the moderate
push-ups.
is better
I do a
than
few push-ups, and I feel good
yeah.
after.
Mhm.
You know, so I don't have to be in the
Also, your
gym.
muscles need time to heal.
All of that.
Yeah.
All of that.
So that's another thing too. So it's funny you say that. So healing food, a lot of foods and
Mm.
vegetables and fruits that actually helps the body, with magnesium and all that stuff that plays a big part
Sure.
in your sleep process and sleep, getting well. Because I could have a long day when then I take magnesium and everything, and I wake up feeling like you know, I'm ready to go. Like that's like
Yeah.
I'm good. So that and D3 and all those different things actually play a, like kind of mixing zinc, all those different things help.
Yeah.
But with the food part, with the rest, like watermelon, strawberries and blueberries,
Yeah.
um, cherries at night actually help promote
Mhm.
sleep. So I've kind of been doing those things and helping myself with that. But actually, just doing like 15, 20 push-ups a day.
So what are your views on GLP-1 use?
What? GO,
GLP-1s.
GOP1. What the? What's that?
So GLP-1s are abbreviations for glucagon like peptide one. These are a series of peptides, little amino acid signaling molecules they found in the gut. Everybody has them, but what happened was, big pharma found a way to, if they mass produce it and adjust these little peptides that are naturally found in us, what happens? So they're not that new. You've heard of Ozempic and
Yeah,
Wegovy. You've heard
yeah,
those big ones. Now they're famous, but when I was in residency, there was Victoza. There was these. They were a newer class of medicine. They were strictly diabetes medicines, and we didn't know totally how they worked. What we were told was, oh yeah, you take these, and they sensitize the body to your own insulin
yeah.
and lower your sugar. We were in those days treating with that. Then later on, we started realizing, wait a second, these guys are losing weight, these guys are losing fat,
Yeah,
and then the question became, well, could you give it to a non-diabetic and they lose weight too? It's funny when it comes to like a drug development, sometimes the side effect ends up being the main
yeah,
star of the show.
yeah.
Like Viagra, people don't realize ED wasn't even a real diagnosis 40 years ago.
Really?
Oh no, Viagra was an accident. Viagra was initially meant to be a vasodilator for the blood. It still is, and the theory was that you take this medicine and it dilates the blood vessels, which when you dilate it, it's like a hose. If you make it tighter, the pressure goes up. What if you do the opposite? You dilate it, you make it bigger, the radius wider, the pressure drops. So it was initially being studied, for hypertension, and the trial happened, and there was modest benefit, but it wasn't that significant. And it was a double-blind, study. But what happened was the male patients who happened to take the drug, they're like, "Hey, can I get more?" I'm like, well, why do you want it? It wasn't even that good as a blood pressure medicine. Yeah, but man, my sex life has gotten better.
Yeah.
And then they started doing post-trial analysis. They realized, wait a second, this is boosting men's sexual performance. They want it.
So their blood flow was coming in
Correct.
from that pill.
Because what is a penis? It's just a bunch of flesh, and it's like a balloon.
Yeah.
It's basically, for
Well,
your
what I learned, what I
vasculature.
learned, I do beets and celery.
Yeah.
I take that,
And
and
beets also can cause vasodilatory
yeah.
effects.
So the thing is, you want to
Great for
actually.
exercise.
The thing is, what happens is that everything shuts down in their body, like shuts down below. So it's like it's done for a moment. So now it's tight, can't breathe. So they need that blood flow to kind of pump out and everything. Even cayenne pepper kind of help with that as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah.
Cayenne pepper could actually get that flow going.
Sure.
Um,
We use it topically for pain relief.
yeah. So I mean, like I'm more that guy. Like I stay away from the pills and go natural, and it's a big
But why though?
difference.
Why don't you trust? Why do you feel that way?
Well, one is the fact is that like to take, I'm not against it, but to take it, and you have to take it all the time. If you have a high sex drive, you want to actually want to take it. You have to take it daily.
So Viagra is not for sex drive. Viagra is strictly a vasodilator. So when it comes to sex, there's two components to it. There is the desire, which is libido. That your hormones, especially testosterone, will
Hmm.
play a role to men and women both.
Okay. Yes.
But then the performance part of it is what Viagra does. So when I treat patients with sexual performance issues, especially ED, I very pointedly ask them during the consultations. So what is the problem? Is the problem desire,
You,
or is
you
the
you haven't
prop?
treated you haven't treated me for that.
Oh, oh no, no. You need
Just
the
putting it out there.
Mel, you.
Okay,
Putting it out
just put that out there. You haven't
Well,
treated me for that, all
I
right?
wouldn't violate that kind of
All right,
HIPAA.
let's just get
Yeah,
that clear.
I
You
wouldn't
haven't treated me for
violate
that, all right?
confidentiality on this podcast. But I have to ask them, like, what is the problem? Is it desire or is it performance? If the desire is there and he wants to engage, then libido's good. It's probably the performance part of it, and even that is multifactorial. What if he's diabetic and he has severe vascular disease,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. But I brought up Viagra because that's the most famous, in my opinion, the most famous example of the side effect becoming the main star. They came out with this term erectile dysfunction that, oh yeah, there's some guys who have performance, and that became the star. The scientist who discovered that drug got 70, I don't know, almost $100 million for his patent.
Oh,
He lives
really?
in Star Island, near Oprah and all those people in Miami. He lives over there because he sold it over to Pfizer, so he has a good life. So GLP-1s kind of had a similar track. They started off strictly for diabetics, and then Novo Nordisk decided that, you know what, we want to come out and make it for everybody, especially obesity.
Yeah.
And it's not new. We've had drugs for obesity before, but the problem was that the FDA, I think our attitude changed towards obesity. Obesity used to be, if we talked in the 90s, obesity was a shame. Like, oh, shame on you. You have
Mhm.
obesity. That's your fault. Stop being lazy. Work out more. Back then, if you remember, non-fat and low-fat was the biggest push. It's all
Yeah.
fat than meat, which is not true. We learned that was nonsense. So now they're selling low-fat products, which made it worse because it was even more processed, and it created more insulin spikes, and it caused more damage, and that's what happened there. But essentially, what ends up happening now is these guys came out and they realized, what if we did it in a non-diabetic person? The FDA was not very cool with obesity drugs. They initially kind of looked at it more as a aesthetic problem, as a you problem.
Mm.
As the research came out that, hey, this really is a disease, especially fat, especially belly fat. Belly fat, especially visceral fat, we're learning it's not just padding. It's not just padding behind the wall. It's glandular. These areas of fat actually secrete hormones. Those hormones can create hunger, and these same hormones can actually interact with insulin in a negative way. It creates resistance to insulin. Your poor
Mm.
pancreas now has to produce even more insulin, and it's almost like that famous I Love Lucy episode. There's an episode of I Love Lucy where her task is, she's working for this factory. She's supposed to take the chocolate and pack it in the box. So it starts off slow and she's doing a good job, but as the conveyor belt speeds up, she starts dropping the chocolates and she can't keep up with it. And that's essentially what diabetes mellitus type 2 is.
Mm.
That's basically Lucy in that chocolate factory. Your demand for insulin is shooting up, and the pancreas just can't keep up. At some point, it just gives up and stops working completely, or it's still producing this X amount of insulin, but you need X plus 1,000 more of it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not able to keep up. So then glucose, your sugar levels are going high, and this is later causing damage to your small vessels, especially the ones that attach to your nerve, which creates neuropathy and all the damages. So that's what happens. So you know a lot of our problems today are linked to this obesity problem, and now Novo Nordisk, these guys were the attitude changed. We realize now that with obesity also came obstructive sleep apnea. You never heard of this when you were a kid.
Why are you looking at me talking about sleep apnea?
Oh, because I'm not saying you have it, but I'm saying
I do
you.
have it.
You
I
do
be
you really?
snoring like crazy.
No. Yeah, but most Americans.
Calling you out.
Just calling me out right now, like, yeah, sleep apnea. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what I've been snoring around, like, nah, but
This is a podcast and a consultation. It's a podcast consultation, but we learned later that obviously with obesity and weight gain, you get other bad side effects. Sleep apnea. Sleep apnea is a nasty beast in and of itself. Almost everything you can think of that could go wrong with the body is now linked to it, from psychosis, cancer, depression, metabolic disorders,
gut health too.
everything.
Gut health plays a big factor in that as well because, you know, the way how your gut, if your gut is, getting large and unhealthy, it actually plays the fact that you're breathing.
Yeah.
So that's why the doctor tells you to lose weight or
Yeah.
exercise more so you can lower that sleep apnea.
But
But it's
you
more
know,
detail. There's more things
yeah.
involved in
But
that as
when
well.
it comes to exercise, I mean, first of all, I hate the discussion of weight. I don't think weight really is a problem. If you were 500 pounds but you're all like Hulk muscle, I don't think you'd have a problem.
Yeah, I'm 500 pounds muscle right
There
now.
you
What are you
are.
talking
Of
about?
course you are. Yeah, you're
You
about
know,
300 pounds of muscle. You know, if you're
uh,
all muscle, there would, you know, what I think we're moving more towards, especially in the wellness industry, is body composition. That is what's important. I think if you were, I don't know, 200 pounds versus 100 pounds, but the 100-pound guy has little to no muscle
yeah,
and has a bunch of visceral fat, that's not good. Whereas the 200-pound guy, if he's like an NFL player, he's a bunch of muscle, 5% body fat, good for him. You know, weight is an old concept. We made this assumption that weight and BMI is the way to measure people. We're moving away from that. I think as
yeah.
technology's advanced, we have more advanced laser scanning, especially us. You know, we have in our practice a machine that scans,
Oh, you do a
especially.
good job. I had that machine. That machine right
Yeah,
there,
yeah.
no joke, had me like. But it actually works. It's had me shredded for a bit. I relapsed and kind of went back into all the bad,
That's
indulging
okay,
all the
man. We take
food.
care of you.
But that machine actually worked. Also, I was in the cookie jar and had some of these. I had some of these pills that actually had magnesium and different things. It was called whatever it was called, but it's really good. Help with my inflammation.
Hmm.
It really helped a lot. And when I'm taking it, I seen a big difference. Um,
Especially obesity, visceral fat itself is a pro-inflammatory
yeah.
problem, which can
So
cause
I was
issues.
taking this, and then like even like when it like in the rain and everything, I didn't have the pain no more. My pain went away.
Hmm.
So I had a bad accident, so that kind of took away from the pain that I was dealing with, and also it gave me good energy. Like natural energy. Everything was well balanced when I'm taking this stuff, and I'm like, wow, this stuff is pretty good. It needs to be put out more. But anyway, I've been taking it, and actually I've seen a big difference, even in my workouts as well. So my workouts been pretty good, and
Yeah.
been feeling
So,
pretty buff.
so yeah, you gotten really strong. Your
Been
body
feeling
looks great.
good. You
Of course,
know,
we've been doing stuff
Yeah,
together.
yeah, been
Yeah,
taking,
we've been doing
but
stuff with
this
you.
particular been actually been really good. I've been like
Hmm.
hooked on it. Like this is, you know, amazing.
What is
The
the
peptides,
peptides?
yeah, the peptides is really good. Like I've been taking it, especially for my pain
Yeah.
management. It's been really, but like all the different ones that I've been taking
You
actually help.
are you comfortable telling the audience what the pain you had a car accident a long time
Yeah,
ago?
so I had a really bad
Car
accident,
accident, yeah.
and I got like 15 surgeries to plate my leg and everything. So, and my hand was all tore up.
Oh
So
man.
basically, like
You have like a plate, I think, in your
I
ankle.
died.
Oh
Actually,
no.
I passed away and I'm reincarnated. I'm back.
He's
Thank
the
God. Like, yeah,
mailman.
I'm back, the mailman. But
I think
actually,
50 Cent stole his story from you, maybe.
oh man, this is a big testimony. But to get into it, I had pain forever.
Yeah.
Like till I go into the grave. But I have severe pain daily. So for me being a chef, I'm standing on my feet 24.
Correct.
Like 24 hours out the day, damn near. Not 24, but I'm exaggerating.
Yeah.
But it felt like it though.
Hmm.
So, I had to wear comfortable shoes
Yeah,
and
you're cooking in your
everything.
sleep
And I'm
too.
cooking. Yeah, I'm cooking in my sleep. Definitely cooking in my sleep. My brain be working even more there. But
Mhm.
when I actually be on my feet for a long time, my back started to ache a little bit. So I have a lot of aches and pains coming through. Long story short, having this plate and all this in my leg, all these type of instruments, in my body, I've been in a lot of pain.
Mhm.
But you don't hear me say, man, I'm hurting.
Mhm.
I'm in a lot of pain, but I quietly take things to kind of like that can actually help me, benefit me, and the peptides actually help. I
Yeah.
don't take ibuprofen and all these different things because I feel like that's just a band-aid.
Ibuprofen can damage your
Well,
gut
yeah, that's nothing
and
too.
it
So a
can
lot of things I
also
have to
Yeah.
be careful on what I'm
yeah.
taking. So, I got away from the Percocets and all that. 'Cause that was like a lot of different
Oh wow. You're on Percocet.
medications that they was pushing on me. I had like
Yeah.
morphine, everything, and I mean this injury was really bad for me.
Yeah.
It
You
really.
you almost died, dude. This is
I
a
mean,
pretty
not only that, I
serious.
almost damn near lost my leg.
Yeah.
I was about to be, one leg mailman. You know what I'm
And what's
saying?
interesting is since you started the peptides, I've noticed. I mean, you're probably working out better too because the pain is under better
Man,
control. You're sleeping better.
I am
Your
like,
body looks great.
I'm like I'm like one of the Marvel comics right now. I feel like I'm like ready to take it on.
I tell
But I've been
everybody
on.
that Mel looks like he's about to compete
Listen
for a
here.
starting position on the team.
I don't know about that. Hey, listen, man, they gonna put me on the
Watch
bench.
out.
But I tell you what though, but me taking it though, like I've been like trying to like adjust to seeing like, okay, what it felt like when I'm off of it and when I'm on it. And it's normal, it's like normal, but it feels great. Like I really feel like it's a supplement that I actually plays a big part of my everyday body, like like my intake of what I'm taking in, actually helps me. So if you're taking like multivitamins and everything like that, that's good. But me taking the peptides, like it actually like the same thing add on as a vitamin for me. But it actually I can see like so I'm looking at it like it got magnesium, L-theanine in there, all these different. So I'm looking at my research of it. I'm like, this thing is like super really good, but it's like it's really working daily for me. So I,
So you do know how so essentially how these peptides came about is
I
when
don't care. They need to keep on pushing them
yeah,
because they good.
no, no. So they have a long history. They're actually much older than we thought. In my initial mind, I thought the peptides began with GLP-1, but that's not true. The Soviets were studying.
GOP, when you're saying GOP-1, you keep on like it's like
I know
man, it's like an airplane or something.
exactly.
GOP-1. I'm like, man, GOP, what type of number is this? GOP-1. Like, you say it so quick, GOP-1,
Yeah.
each other.
It makes it,
Yeah,
it
let me tell
makes
you about the GOP-3.
it
Yeah,
makes
what the heck?
it makes
Like
it
that's kind of making me like, what is that?
it makes
Yeah.
it sound more official. But they've been studying peptides for a long time, especially the Soviets. They studied things like CMAG and Silax, and there's been a lot of you know uh, research on and off on this concept of taking natural molecules in your body, simply making more of it, and then reinserting into the body. Um, I know pharma tried a few times, and the studies were either poorly done, or they weren't, just weren't done very good, or some weren't that effective. It is what
Mhm.
it is. But what ends up happening later on is that the GLP-1s are super successful. People then begin wondering, what, the GLP-1s are that good? Let's go back and see these other peptide-based
What you think about the
treatments.
GOP-1?
I think they're great. I think it's phenomenal for body recomposition. A lot of people actually track it, and you can track it at home too with all of these new scales.
They're not going to be
There's
as effective as using like an actual scanner.
absolutely,
Yeah,
but you
yeah,
can check your bone density, you can check
yeah,
your visceral fat, you can check, of course, your BMI, your water, how
Hmm.
much water you have in your body, all of those numbers.
yeah.
And a lot of my friends are actually on it, but they've noticed that, okay,
It's a big
it's not, you're
difference.
not just losing weight. Originally people were scared that, okay, you're going to lose a lot of body muscle,
Well, I tell you what I'm
but
losing.
they're losing actual fat
I,
and gaining muscle
I
on
tell you about
these.
me taking this, man. It had me sitting here losing a lot of waste.
Really?
I was wasting, like it was taking a lot of waste naturally. Like it
You
was,
were on a GLP-1?
yeah, GLP-1, 2, 3, all those GLP-1, not GLP-1, but I was actually like, when I'm taking it, I
The
didn't
other
know.
peptides you made, you take other
Man, that
peptides,
thing
yeah.
had me going to the bathroom. I'm talking about like it had me, but it was like so good. Like it
But
actually,
you do look happier. I've noticed you
I'm a
look
happy
more.
guy.
You're a happy guy, but I mean, it's been a brief period, but you look more refreshed. You look stronger. You look like your peak performance is definitely higher.
it took it up a level. It took it up a
Yeah,
notch by doing that. I'm like, man, I like
I
this.
think
I'm
I
like,
think Jaden and Terry better watch out. You're coming for their positions, man.
man, I'm coming for everybody, man. Nah, but actually, like, just kind of like just taking it, I've seen a big difference in my workouts and like once again, even me, using the restroom, kind of like I was like, I made a few phone calls like, hey, look, this stuff making me go to the bathroom, but that's what I like about it because I want to flush everything out.
Yeah.
You want to flush all the waste and all the stuff out of it. So actually, it's cleaning. It's actually doing a detox at the same time. So when you're saying you're losing weight, you're actually losing weight by flushing that out,
Mm-hmm.
and that's part of it.
You know what's interesting is a lot of the more popular ones, especially for pain management peptides, they're actually on the WADA list. So active players can use them. It's interesting. People say to me that, oh, the peptides, there's poor evidence of efficacy, and I'm just like, okay, fine, I'll concede there is poor evidence to their efficacy, but that's because there are poor studies of the efficacy. We haven't yet done real good clinical research or anything. But what's happened is we've had a bunch of small, crappy studies. Then when people try to be smart and say we did a meta-analysis, so what is a meta-analysis? Meta-analysis is where you take a bunch of studies, you combine it, and you create, in theory, more power, and therefore you have more truth. The problem, however, is if you take a bunch of bad studies and you try to do a meta-analysis of a bad study, you still get a bad result. If you want to look into this, you have to do a more vigorous trial, which costs a lot of money, which no one's going to pay for. Those guys at Merck and Pfizer would have paid if they could patent it, but the courts did rule a few years back that you can only patent a new.
So basically, money talks.
Money does talk. Oh yeah, it's
Money talks,
expensive.
but you put a lot of money into the product already itself, and then you got to go through another hurdle and another hurdle
Correct.
to get these things up.
Because the ultimate problem is that whenever someone makes a product, especially in health and wellness and science, they want to prove that it works so they can get paid. What's happening now is when someone makes an invention and the FDA agrees and says, "Yep, you can now say that this drug treats this problem and it for sure works," they're now allowed to price whatever they want to price it.
I would say this: I don't agree with a lot of things that's been approved.
Okay.
I
Like
feel
what?
like it's been just underhanded. They just slid them some money and then let them go in and.
No, that's not true, Mel. There
I
are
mean-
the data's public. The data's public.
No, I'm just saying. Like I just feel like they
For the
just slid them.
FDA?
I mean, just a few things, just a lot of things that.
Which ones?
I mean, just a lot
My
of
grandma's
things.
friend worked for the FDA, and she thought that was her dream job, and she quit
Huh,
because
there you
of how
go.
unhappy she was.
Yeah.
There you go.
But
I mean, like I said, everything's a business, and that business, man. I just feel like the ingredients that they put in our food and they approving of, I don't agree with.
So that was hardcore corruption. The USDA
That's
was
what
the
I'm saying. It's
largest.
like you approving this.
That
You
food
approving us to
pyramid.
eat
it goes
this.
with why the peptides are on technically the ban list, right now. So a lot of people think, oh, are they on the ban list because they actually work, and that's why they're not being approved?
Well, I tell you what. I
Or-
tell you a lot of things on the ban list. Seeded fruits is on the ban list.
Mhm.
A lot of different things that's good. If you go into a grocery store, right, you're not seeing different fruit that I like. What's the fruit? Dragon fruit. You're not. Well, nowadays they trying to put it out there a little bit, but like all these different exotic good fruits and everything. Okra. Okra is really a good vegetable. Why not? Okra is not really in a lot of these stores. They're not everywhere, right? So why is that? Why you only see broccoli, carrot, celery, and that's it, and cabbage. You don't see all these other things that actually banana stems and everything that actually helps.
Is it consumer demand or?
I mean, it's coming from other countries, but if you look at the label, a lot of these things that you're eating or you're buying, it comes from other countries.
Yeah.
So like produced out of here, produced. If you look at your shrimp coming from Thailand, it's coming from different India and everything. It's coming from different places. So there you go.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll do a few questions. Let's see, targeted questions.
Let's talk about GLP-1s and like what they actually do.
Okay.
And then
Yeah, let's
also,
talk
'cause
about
what I thought we were gonna do is we're gonna talk about GLP-1s. How do you cater to your clientele that
No,
are
that's a
on
good question.
GLP-1s? You get the high protein
So,
diets.
so
you
what I
give-
do want to do is I don't want to put the NFL involved in it.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Don't drop that NFL
Yeah. That's why I
stuff.
say clientele.
Like,
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
because
you
really
have
don't do
everybody.
Washington because I don't. Because the thing is, because you had to be careful on what you're putting out there.
Because they have like,
Because so somebody watching this or whatever,
they're gonna think that we're endorsed. Yeah, we're not
there's all
endorsed.
kind of things I don't want to get into.
For
So
sure.
I had to be careful
For
and,
sure.
and watch my back on that.
Yeah.
Just to put it out.
I got
there.
you.
Yeah.
But actually, that's a great question. So,
But we can ask the whatever questions. I'm
Yeah.
all with it, but I just want to be careful
No,
on
no.
how I go about when we look.
But are you allowed to tell us like what the players like to eat or no?
I could talk about like what guys like. what athletes. Just don't put
In
Washington.
general.
Just say,
general.
just ask me like, hey, look, what do athletes and people like to eat? I work with bodybuilders. I work with a lot of people. So
Oh, I have a question.
Yeah.
How do you, how do I word this? How do you differentiate your meals between, let's say, if different types of athletes?
like bodybuilders.
Well, bodybuilders, let's say running back,
Mhm.
as opposed to the O line.
Yeah. Okay.
Completely different diets.
So definitely like they have different diets. So what I do is I just come up with a good plan for them and put on like how much protein they need,
Mhm.
weigh that. So like say they need, um, say like for the carbs, proteins. So I put a lot of sweet potatoes, vegetables and everything. Kind of like basically like a all out plan diet for them.
Mhm.
So I have all the different things that check off the box: high protein, some vegetables, and some carbs.
Yeah.
So like my go to carbs is like I definitely like quinoa. I love quinoa. That's a good one.
It's a
And
complex carb.
yeah, I love
Mhm.
that one. Not a lot of people don't like it though, but I
Yeah.
love it though. Um, and also I like jasmine rice.
Mhm.
I love a lot of jasmine rice, so I do a lot of rice. Um, Rice is really good too, and sweet potatoes. So all these, those are the ones that I use,
Mhm.
kind of like help with their diets and everything and their
And then
performance.
I guess, do you think that it's a struggle or just different when you hear that one of your clients are on a GLP-1? Now you have to basically get accustomed to their new diet. A
Yeah.
lot of times these GLP-1 clients, they need more proteins.
Oh,
They
definitely.
need, sometimes they're backed up. So what do you do to help them with that?
Fiber.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you gotta. It's like basically like when you're dealing with people, you want them to tell you what they're actually doing
Exactly
with
what
their
they're
body,
on.
what they on, so it could go along. Like it could be alignment
Are
with.
are NFL players allowed to be on GLP-1s? I don't think. S-
I mean, like it's like a policy. A lot of things that they
I
can't
think
be
I
on.
think if they're
I
diabetic,
mean,
they're
shit,
allowed
they
to,
can't even
right?
be on marijuana. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
that's
I
true.
mean, like
Yeah,
they
I'm not
can't
sure
be.
why.
So it's a lot of different things that
But if they're diabetic, I think they are allowed, right? Like if there was a diabetic player, is he allowed to
I don't know
Okay.
exactly. I can't answer that.
Yeah.
I would say that whatever they're allowed to do, they're allowed to do.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I'm here just to basically cook them some good food
Good
and
food, help them
actually
with their
and help them.
diet.
Just with people. I just want people to like. I got people with diabetes. Basically, this all you is what you eating daily.
So do you
So
do like a full-on consultation
yeah,
of what is your daily,
yeah. So actually, like okay, what are you? What's your favorite foods? What do you like to eat? What are you struggling with? And I work with trainers. So
love
my
trainers.
trainer actually telling me like, hey, look, they need this, they need a lot of protein in their body. So and I work with my trainer. I seen a big difference of working with my trainer and eating right. I'm like, it's a
Mhm.
big game. So when you got everything, when you're listening to the doctors or listen to people that actually like you're going to, it
Mhm.
actually is alignment. So when you go do all these different things, you eating well, you doing your exercise and
Well,
everything comes out just like that for
So
you.
how do you feel about fad diets?
Fat diets.
Like what's popular and like
I'm
the carnivore diet, the
I ain't into all
the
that stuff. I'm
mhm,
into basically like what works for
the
you.
Mediterranean
mhm.
diet has been the most clinically validated diet. Okay, Irene, you can take you can take your bow. There we
Is
go.
the Greeks.
It's the Greeks. It's
it,
the Greeks.
it
Everything started
consistently it
there.
consistently
I tell
ranks
you what,
as
I
the
love
most.
Greek food. One, Greek
Hmm.
food is amazing. I love
Yeah.
it. They do like what I see with Greeks is like the protein. They got the chicken and steak, and then they got the basically like the meat potatoes. Really good,
Absolutely.
but it's like the seasoning and everything is really nice.
Sometimes simplicity is bliss.
So it's the best. It's the
Yes,
best.
1,000%.
Yeah,
And the tomatoes.
but I tell you what, whatever plan you was on, it really worked. So it really worked out well. I like that. That's good.
So there are some interesting, results of the GLP-1 use. So I was reading a Medscape article. Over the past year, Americans for the first time have actually collectively lost weight. Fast food stocks are down, and alcohol sales are down. Alcohol is a complex is a refined sugar. It's basically a sugar,
Yeah.
and you'll notice. I mean, even on your birthday, I got you a really nice non-alcoholic spirit.
Oh, that was good.
You
That
liked it,
was really
right?
good. That was great. Shout out, hey, shout out. Listen, he came through because I was drinking straight water, right? He said, "Oh, I got this. Look,
I got this
I'm cutting down
non-alcoholic drink for you.
because, like, one thing about the thing about alcohol, it has a lot of different things that it does to your body,
Yeah,
and it
Hmm.
messes up your
correct.
functional of sex drive and everything else.
It can damage your
Exactly.
It's
cells.
a lot of damaging stuff. So I'm up here like, shit. I'm not drinking this. Like, I'm not gonna be.
Yeah.
I'm turning up
Hmm.
in the bars and everything with
But
water,
the thing is,
To
sparkling
yourself.
water,
correct. But the
because
thing is,
Enjoy yourself.
what has happened is culturally though, you have to have a drink when I go to a nice party. I have to have a cocktail.
nah. I
Now you have the rise of non because everyone's on a GLP-1 now.
Hmm.
Everyone.
listen here.
So if you give a peer pressure on GLP-1 Jack Daniels, he or she will puke. They get sick.
Yeah.
So now, because everyone's on a GLP-1, you have to adjust the diet and the drinks for them. So that's why you had a sudden rise of really good. You see, non-alcoholic spirits are not new. They've been around for decades. They sucked. They were awful. They tasted bad.
The one you
They
gave
were
me was
horrible.
really good.
Correct.
Whatever it was really good. And it was like, I was like, man, I like this. I was like,
You
for
could.
the,
It looks good with it. It's a nice little mocktail. Looks good, and it's actually
yeah.
healthy. They actually have healthy ingredients.
Oh, I read the ingredients. The ingredients is amazing. I was like, shout out to you for that. That was a good one. You know, I was kind of suspect. I'm like, man, what are they giving me this, man? What's
I'm
up
a
with this?
doctor, man. I'm gonna give you the
And
good
then,
stuff.
but yeah, you've been giving me some good ingredient things, man, that have been working
Yeah.
pretty well.
So so a lot of good things have happened. Let the fast food guys suffer. Fast food, especially if it's highly processed, you're gonna get sick on it when you're on a GLP-1. GLP-1s essentially what they've done now is they're like I tell people it's like a pharmacologic muzzle. Every time you eat something that's gonna make your insulin spike, like a really refined like chocolate and oily, like really unhealthy foods, it's going to slow down your gut further. It's the way GLP-1s work is they basically slow down your gut and give you the sensation of fullness. Foods that are very highly processed and have all that refined carbs, they slow down your gut anyway because your gut has to process it. It takes more time to shoot the insulin and process it.
Well, that's what I've been learning. Um, like the things that we've been accumulating in our body,
Yeah,
it actually just start to pile up and
yeah.
it's harder to break down more. So we have to like reverse that
Mhm.
and reverse and whatever you did, it reversed. You know what I'm saying? What you did and a lot of different methods out there. But I
So
like
let
it.
me ask you this question: if you were to go into peptides for whatever you're trying to do, whether it's weight, like peptides can do a lot now. We've learned
Mhm.
peptides can help with energy. They may help with,
Mhm.
they definitely help with weight loss. I mean, Ozempic and all of these guys are FDA approved for that. They may have therapeutic benefits in various aspects of your life, from cognition, potentially mood like mood, energy, cognition, weight loss. Where would you want to get your peptides from? Would you want to go to the cheapest website, or
No,
would you rather go to a physician for that?
I would go to a physician
Why?
because I want to trust my physician to give me the right choices of what they.
But why don't you trust those biohacking wellness coaches? You see, what's happening right now is a lot of these peptides, especially the ones that are on that category 2 list, are being promoted by these wellness gurus.
Well,
These
I'm like I
guys,
said, I don't trust in everybody.
yeah,
I'm not just a guy that just you can come up and sell me anything. I'm actually want to like
Well,
understand
that's the
more.
thing. They're trying to sell you
that's
as
what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
opposed to educate you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the thing too. Like I'm glad you said that. That's another thing
Mhm.
too. It's
yeah.
like I'm asking trust me, I'm asking questions.
Yeah.
Anything that
Ask
comes in
questions.
that comes to me, I want to know what it's about. Just like when Doc gave me that non-alcoholic drink, I'm like, okay, what is in here? What's in here? It got to be some type of alcohol or something in there. But it
Mhm.
actually was a lot of good ingredients in there that I take vitamin wise in my
Mhm.
body. So I was like, oh, this is really good. This is like a real healthy drink. So, but yeah, definitely, I would just say just ask questions. The more you ask. But see, when you go into these stores or different shops, they just pushing that stuff on you, like,
Mhm.
oh, take this sea moss or take this and take that. No, what's in these things?
Mhm.
What does it do for your body? What actually? I'm I'm not just taking anything.
But you I'm sure you have friends who are dabbling in this
I
stuff.
don't know what they do. That's not my business. I don't
but
care what they do. I mean, it's true. I
but
may, whatever, what they do is what they do. But when it comes down to me, the mailman, I am taking some things that's going to have me fly high
that's what's up,
and under
man.
the radar.
But what? But this is a topic more about trust. What makes you trust a physician versus a very well-regarded wellness
Well, their
guru?
background,
The wellness guru might have 5 million followers on
it
YouTube
doesn't matter
and
what
endorsements.
degrees you have, what type of like understanding on what knowledge you know about what you're trying to push me. You can sit here and talk about all these different things and everything. I don't listen to all that stuff. I watch a lot of it. It pops up on my feed
Sure,
a
sure,
lot. But the thing is, I'm like, interesting, interesting. So I kind of like I follow these things to kind of get more understanding on
sure.
what they actually and how it works. So I do my research on it. I want to see like, okay, what they talking about? Does they really make sense and everything? I don't just monkey see, monkey do. I'm more like,
Sure.
let me do my investigation on it and see what it is. But for your question, I would say I want to go to you and ask you, what do you think about this? Even when I went for the colon cleanse, I said, what do you think about colon cleanse? You're like, nah, don't take that stuff like that. You should take this. I'm like, man, I want to flush this stuff in my body. I'm big on using the rest. I want to basically take everything. It's really normal to use the restroom. I'm tell people all the time, you need to go to the bathroom. Like you need to have high fiber. Fiber in the morning is the best.
Mhm.
Take that in the morning is good. But my thing is, I'm going to call on you and ask you a bunch of questions because I want to know. I'm
But
really
what makes you
curious.
trust? What makes you trust not just me, but
Not just you, just anybody, any
a
physician.
physician? What makes you trust a physician more than
I
a
just told you.
non-physician?
I just told you. Keyword. Say that again. Say it again.
What makes you trust a physician versus a non-physician?
There you go. What makes you non-physician? Non-physician. All right.
I think
What trusts you? When you want to ask a non-athlete or you want to ask an athlete? All
exactly.
right.
That's
You know
that's
what I'm saying? How do you shoot this ball?
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
Exactly.
How do you see it kick the you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I'm going to ask an athlete.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not going to ask, somebody that's just talking about you know,
yeah.
it's the thing where it says like, it was like in a
You wouldn't ask a shoemaker about diamonds,
it
right?
was just
You'd ask
like
a diamond
it was
maker.
just like when people was when the drugs really bad in the 80s, 70s, 80s and stuff, and a crack epidemic when the people was like, man, I'm looking for a counselor. Well, you can't go to a counselor that never been on drugs. You know what I'm saying? Because they gonna say here to tell you anything.
Mhm.
Like, oh yeah, don't do crack. No, I want to go to the crackhead that actually been on it. They're gonna tell me, man, I done got up off this and I did this. You know what I'm saying? So you
Exactly.
want to go to the source. You want to go to somebody that actually know what they talking about. You just don't want to go to anybody that just sitting there, sitting there telling
Well,
you
so
whatever.
that's the thing, right? A lot of these wellness guys, they are. I do believe them that they're doing it themselves. I do believe them on that. Like they're claiming, look what I did and I got these results. But what I don't believe is, did you get those results because you did those products, or you get those results because you're just really good at working out?
Man, first of all, it's just the word how everything took on with this wellness. I love the wellness
Yeah.
side, but I feel like it's oversaturated. I feel like it's kind of like the identity of it got lost. Like I really want to know, like, okay, it's like it's not safe to eat a lot of things now. Like,
It's not safe. And here's the thing. Let's say you listen to one of these wellness coaches and something goes left. Who are they going to tell you to call?
they want
The
to,
physician.
yeah.
Me.
They're telling me, they're telling me, oh, don't eat chicken because they putting chlorine in your chicken. Well,
Yeah.
then I'm like, so what is it? Like, it's like, what is safe to eat?
Mhm.
So I'm looking at all these different things, like all these. I'm like, well, I'm going straight to the farmer. I go to the farm. I want to be watching everything. I want to be like, so how do you, do? Because I'm more curious on how the process works. And
You've
I've been
heard
on plenty of farms.
yeah.
So there is a thing where these big like these big industries, like names uh, that's in the stores now. The way how they take care of their animals and how they take care of their product is different than the farmers. Shout out to the farmers because they do a lot of work.
They do.
And I love to work with them and help them out because them guys put in that work daily, and what they do and how they take care of they animals and they harvest and everything is a big
But
difference.
let me ask you this question. So you said you mentioned you're into wellness, which is great. How about longevity? Do you know much about longevity?
Yeah, know about longevity.
Is there a difference between wellness and longevity, or they're the same thing?
They similar.
Similar.
Longevity and wellness, it goes hand in hand. Like it's both.
Okay.
It's both. It plays a big factor. A lot of different things play a factor. So, um, just for like when I go and I have my breaks and everything, I want to basically like get a pedicure. I want to get my facial. I want to get different things done. If I'm doing something on TV, I want to make sure that I'm looking good. So that's longevity for me because they actually keep me afloat. Um, the wellness side of it, like I said, it goes hand in hand. It goes side by side. But when you go about it, you got to get enough rest. You got to eat properly. You got to eat enough protein and
Yeah.
fiber and everything, and take your vitamins. Take what supplements that actually help.
So
I
what's
drink
interesting?
matcha. I drink green tea. I
Yeah.
drink those things. That's what I do. I drink a little coffee time to time. But I'm a matcha guy.
Yeah.
You are a
Not
matcha
with
guy.
not with the quarter zip though. All right. I got the full zip.
You got the full
So
zip.
I got both. I know.
so what's
Listen,
interesting is that longevity, the name itself, people say, oh, that just means to live longer, right? So, hey, doc, isn't that your job to make people live longer? And that's a good question. Isn't that what mainstream Western medicine is supposed to do? treat a disease so that you can live longer. I think what I've interpreted the modern day longevity definition to be is we don't just want you to live longer. We don't want you to just live. We want you to fly. We want you to improve your performance in every aspect as you're aging. You can live to be an old man. You can live to be 100, but what is the point if you're, in a bed, severe Parkinson's, you're crumbled. Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want to be, 110 years old, but then you've had dementia for 50 years and you didn't get to enjoy it. Wouldn't it be better to be, I don't know, 95, but you're still like Sylvester Stallone. You're still making Rocky 6 and 7, and you're well into your 70s. You want to be Tom Cruise. You want to be jumping out of airplanes, and you're almost 70. I think longevity is you are pushing the boundary to you're optimizing people's overall performance in every aspect of their
Well,
life.
give me some of that longevity.
I've been taking care of you. We got you on the peptides. Your pain.
Give me some of
Yeah,
that longevity, man.
your pain is getting better. Your
Well, I tell you what,
your
my
body's looking
pain.
good.
One thing about it, I'm big on pain. I really would like. I didn't like taking a lot of different medications and stuff like that. I'm really like scared about all this. So that's why I had to come to you and ask you, like, what's kind of like good for me, like what's decent. And I trust in you, but I also just want to make sure, like when I try certain things, everything ain't for you. You had to learn. Just like a water or whatever. Certain waters you're gonna drink, certain waters you're not gonna drink. It's like
Most of those bottled waters are tap water.
But I'm
Right?
just saying, but does it matter? Like your preference of certain
Yeah,
things
yeah.
and what you put in your body is a big difference. Like some
Yeah.
people just put different things in their body. Me per se, I just like to do my research before I just jump on things. That's why I like blueberries. I eat a lot of blueberries now, and a lot of fruits because I'm seeing a difference in my skin as well. So
Yeah.
so when I go,
Well, in all fairness, we also
No,
regularly
no.
laser you.
Listen,
we take care of your beauty. We regularly laser
hold
Mr.
on,
Mel.
that's what I'm saying.
But he's saying
What
you're
I'm
not
saying-
cleaning yourself on the inside.
inside
Okay.
out. So what I'm
Yeah.
saying is that what goes on to what you're fine,
Yeah.
things that you're doing, all the good things you're doing, I'm actually doing blueberries, cucumbers, and everything to enhance it.
Okay.
That's so basically what I'm telling you.
That's
is,
antioxidants in that.
yeah, exactly. So what I'm telling you is that you tell your clients or the people that you're doing to say, hey, eat well as well, to actually see a big difference. So you see that glow come in with the glow.
There we go.
Because you've been having me glowing with that, the good stuff that you've been doing. But I will say, you got to eat well.
I've had a lot of lady friends admire your you.
Mhm.
They, especially at your party, I had a lot of friends, female friends who came in. They were complimentary of me at my
Man, I
work
was
with
like
you.
a supermodel, you know what I'm saying?
Ah,
I
Right,
was
you walked
glowing.
in,
I
you
You
were
was
walked in.
glowing.
You
Man,
were
that was
glowing.
Kim was right
listen.
next to you glowing too.
This guy, every time he
yes,
goes, and then
yes,
She was the star of your
yes, she was.
party.
Listen, she was the star. She was.
Yeah,
she
she
did
was
it.
the star of your party.
But I tell you what. Though. I came in looking really well. That really did a good job. My
You
skin
looked
looked
well
really
and you were
good.
confident.
Yes.
I
Oh, I
knew
mean,
that you looked well.
yes.
You look great.
But wellness. You know what I'm saying? This is the big thing. You have to take care of yourself.
you gotta take care of yourself.
You know,
agreed. Yeah.
you could work all these shifts and everything. You got to take some time to put into yourself and pour back into it and take things that could actually help you.
Yeah.
So certain things that you're not liking, you can change it, all about with your wellness.
There we go. Yeah, I think that's key. I think why peptides have become popular is people want to boost their performance either for work or even their personal life. I mean, they want to be people want to be happy. People want to run
People wanna be their
faster.
best self.
Correct.
Their
They want to be
best
the best
selves.
self. Correct.
Yes, 1,000%.
And the FDA I think was a little too restrictive. The first principle of a physician is do no harm. So some of these peptides are on this ban list because of risk of harm, but right now millions of Americans are doing them.
So let me tell you this.
No major deaths.
In America or anywhere, right? Certain things are banned and certain things are approved. Different places, right? At certain places you can't even smoke weed or whatever. Weed is illegal or whatever is banned here or this is banned here. So a lot of things is like in other countries,
Netherlands, you can do weed
the white
openly.
substance is legal, and
Yeah.
so so it's a lot of different things. It's just all where you at. Alcohol was illegal here.
Yeah, it was.
Now it's became legal.
You know why
So-
that happened, right?
I don't know, but what I'm saying is
The mafia were shooting up people.
No, what I'm
there are
getting
bodies
at is,
everywhere.
What I'm getting at is that from nicotine and all these other things, these products, it has to be they get through and make sure they see how they can make $1 off of it as well.
Mhm.
So it's a money business as well.
Mhm.
So it's all about the money. But also, these things were banned. It was not allowed, and you got to be a certain age to take it and everything. So when you get into those things,
Yeah. As a wellness enthusiast and as a chef, let me ask you this more controversial question. GLP-1s, morally, are you for people doing them or not? What is your view on that?
what's my view?
Yeah, should people do them?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, me, I do it.
No, but the public, like, would you, if someone come up to you and they're overweight, what would you tell? Would you tell them, no, don't do GLP-1s, you're better than that, diet and exercise, that's it? Or would you tell them, yeah, if you want, like, what would you tell the public? Would you say that I'm supportive of GLP-1s, or would you say, no, don't do them?
Man, if I was in the streets, I'd be like, man, to smoke some crack. Nah.
When you're at work, not in the streets, what would you tell? I'm just curious. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are, because I think society is changing in the positive way. I think we are becoming more accepting of it to some degree. In some degree, we're not. I mean, especially in Hollywood circles, they kind of attack each
My
other.
I
thing-
say do it.
I say do it too. I say
There's
do
so
it.
many more benefits.
Yes.
You're gonna look good. You're gonna feel good. If you look good and feel good, you're gonna do good.
Yeah.
Okay. I think a lot of people in this country specifically are very depressed.
Yes.
And a lot of it has to do with how
Appearance, how
they
they feel.
and yeah, their self appearance. And the most beautiful person can walk into our consultation room and feel horrible about themselves. I can't do anything about that. What we do is make people feel good. And whatever the case that, however I get you there, you're going to do good in the world.
Yeah.
So if I can get you to be your best self, you're going to be your best self and help the world too.
Yeah. I agree with that. Like I said, like for me taking that, I actually I feel a big difference, and I really recommend people taking it. There's nothing wrong with trying out something that actually could help you. If it was some type of thing that actually had a bad side effect or hurted me, I'm like, no, don't take it. Don't
But
do this.
GLP-1s can be
you know.
dangerous. I've had 3 patients in my history of the GLP-1s who have died of necrotizing pancreatitis.
Yes, they can be dangerous, but also you have to know where you're getting your product from. So I do know of this clinic that, of course, outsources these GLP-1s. There is one GLP-1 that I won't, of course, name, but they have a new dosing. So they went from a 2.5 dose to a 7.2 dose.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
they're
a big
jumping
jump.
almost 3 times.
That's a big jump.
Yes, and a lot of their patients are getting extremely sick to the point where they're having to be hospitalized because of it.
Well, see, when you get into like all these different weight loss or anything with wellness and that can help you, right? The side effects, the different things, the backlash from it, right? It's all about how you're using it as well and what are you
Yes.
doing. So when you're talking about what is it called?
GLP-1.
The GLP-1.
You can say Ozempic or Wegovy. Those are big ones. You know Ozempic. You can say Ozempic.
Ozempic.
Great
Yeah.
commercial.
You
But
can't abuse it.
what I say is that you can't, everything you have to take in a way where you know how to use it in a certain way. If they tell you put 2 teaspoons in something or whatever, that's what you got to do. You got to go.
But you harped on this earlier. I'm going to piggyback off what you said.
Yeah.
The question is, who are they? See, right now, we don't know who they are. I would like to assume these are physicians, but they're not.
They're not
These
physicians.
are
They're not
coaches,
physicians. Yeah.
so-called coaches. These are non-medical experts now on vlogs. See, you and I are friends, so I tell you everything. You call me, I tell you everything.
Yeah, right. I'm going.
So your assumption is when you say you're assuming physicians are guiding.
No.
Irene and I will tell you that's not true.
That's
There's a
not
lot
true.
of non-physicians
So this is the
guiding.
thing. I'm not going to them. I'm not
Yeah.
going to them for
What
that.
ends up happening is, or what is happening is that these people that are prescribing these GLP-1s that have twice, 2 times,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, as heavy, which is crazy, but there's no repercussions because they don't have a medical license.
I give
behind
y'all a good
Whereas-
example. I'll give you a good example. This thing that came out called K2. Looked
Okay.
like weed.
Yeah.
Everybody was going crazy. Oh man.
Oh, that was bad.
I could
I had
pass
to
my
treat. I had
probation.
to. I had to treat those patients.
I could sit here.
Oh, no.
I could smoke and it won't come into my
Those are
system and
bad.
everything, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not taking
That
that.
drug
you know.
ended up mimic PCP.
Listen, I'm not taking
Is
that.
that the plastic?
No. This was a so-called synthetic
Yeah,
marijuana.
synthetic.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
It,
okay.
So
We
it was
called it
really,
plastic marijuana.
it was
Okay.
really big. So people would, it looked exactly
I
like
had
it.
patients break the out of their like they were tied to the bed. It looked like a
Oh
scene
my
from Exodus.
goodness.
They
So
broke the beds.
so you got to be careful on where you're sourcing things or where you're getting things,
Absolutely.
and who you trust in these things, because like the chemicals and different. So I'm trusting if I'm getting something, I'm going to get it from you. You know,
Versus a coach.
there's a coach.
coach who
I'm
might
not
be
going to go
getting
to.
it
But
from
the
I'm
the
not
coach,
going to
but
go
the
to a
coach,
coach
the coach
because
might be cheaper though. The coach
doesn't
might.
matter. I don't care about cheap. Cheap get you. You ever had a cheap shirt and it ripped? You know what I'm saying? But then you get a good quality shirt and it stay good. You can wash about 10 times and wear it and everything,
That's
and
your
it's good.
lifeline.
Yeah,
You watch it, you can
yeah, you can be
last
good.
Well,
longer.
let's have a more concrete example. Would you rather go to a physician at a practice, or would you rather get it from one of these online telehealth
No, I'm
mills?
not going to do all that. I'm going to go to the physician.
Okay.
I'm going to go to the physician because they have,
A personal, maybe
yeah,
personal relationship. Okay.
not just a personal relationship. They also have a lot of degrees and different things
Sure.
that they have studied.
But not everybody is like you though, and not everybody also
I
works
have
with
nothing to
fine
do. I
print.
have nothing
Yeah,
to do with that.
exactly.
Irene will tell you at the practice there are people who are they want to
They
lose weight. They want to
Google
be
it.
yeah,
Everybody goes online. Everybody
and they
does
want
their
the
own
cheapest
research.
I'll
price.
give
They
you
go
an
on
example.
TikTok shop. They
Even
go
from
on.
a simple facial, I'm not going to just go to anybody to get a facial. I want to go to someone that actually, have more background in it than just going to get a facial from someone.
But right now, the question on everyone's mind is, what is the most straightforward, easiest way to lose weight? That's not diet and exercise. That's easy. I think right now the collective public is going to say GLP-1s, which is infuriating, but fine. Now that they've reached that conclusion, how should they get it? You can go to a coach. He's gonna, there are corrupt physicians who mass
They
order it
have
for them and they sell it.
they might have different outlets or different ways of getting it. I mean, like in this world, you can get whatever you want. You get a hold of it. It just where you getting it from, where you sourcing it from. That's
Would
the
you
main thing.
rather pay extra for the one from the manufacturer that's FDA approved, or would you rather save some money and get it from the compound pharmacy?
I want to get it from what makes sense, man. That's a good question. Trying to trick me?
No. I'm
That's-
I'm
Trying to trick me,
I'm
man?
challenging the audience to think about this. So
You challenging me right now.
no. So
Like, man, I'm like this.
You're
I'm
in the
like,
hot seat.
I'm like this. Hold up.
no.
Yeah.
So
It sound kind of good.
No.
Like,
So you're not the only one in the hot seat. Everyone is. All of America.
Yeah.
All of America is in the hot seat right now because we all have to answer this question. You see, when I first started the practice 3 years ago, weight loss was always a big thing. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, but back then even there were guys who were like, "Yo, buy this compounded GLP-1 from us. We're gonna charge you just $200," which was a huge savings because in those days you had no choice. You had to pay $1,300 to get Wegovy.
Well, like I said, you talking numbers.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about resources.
Sure.
I don't care about the number. If I go to a practice or go somewhere, I want to get it. I want to do that.
So what is
So what you're saying is
Yeah.
would you go to basically like
Yeah.
bootlegger?
Yeah.
Or you want to go here?
Correct. That's
now,
exactly what I'm asking.
There you go, because now we get some moonshine.
Correct.
And I'm
Yeah.
going to be all tour. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
do you want the Nikes or you want the Vikings?
yeah. So basically, like,
Exactly.
I don't want to go to the bootlegger. I
So
wanna
what's
go
happening
that
now
way.
was there used to be this much of a gap. Wegovy and Ozempic, all these guys were up here, $1,300, $1,500, per month. Compounding guys, $200. That was the gap. The FDA allowed these guys to sell because it was COVID. There was a shortage. There wasn't enough of this anyway. Now what's happened is now the shortage is over. FDA says, yeah, you can only buy from this guy.
Yeah.
But this is a $1,400, $1,500 proposition versus $200 here. Americans were still getting after this.
Well, we're going to get back to that. We're going to have another episode of this coming up because we're going to have to really get into it. We could talk about this a long time. This right here is...
So what has happened now is the gap is closer now. Now they're almost 1-to-1, maybe $100 difference. What would you rather do? I have seen the cheaper clinics still push the compounded crap. They're putting in things like B12 to make it a new product. They're trying to skirt the patent law by claiming, oh, it's not Ozempic. It's a new thing because we put B12 in it.
Well, check this out. When you get sick or whatever, you go to the doctors and they prescribe you a certain medication, cough medicine, whatever, right? You want the generic version or you want the,
So
you know what I'm saying? So
that's a good question. So now you're discussing brand versus generic. This is a different discussion.
Well, not really. It's
No, no,
actually the same
no,
in
no,
a way.
no, 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 no. It's not. So compounding versus non-compounding, the concept is different. See, generic means there's a manufacturing process which is extremely similar to the brand. It's just it's generic. They're not officially that company. The FDA allows for that. As long as you don't violate their patent, usually after 12, 15 years it expires and you can do it. It's cheaper. Viagra branded is still up here and generic is here, and that's totally fair game. This is a common point that people misunderstand. Um, Wegovy, for example, semaglutide. Semaglutide is a drug. They assume, oh, compounded versus the brand. It's just like brand versus generic argument. They're the same. No, they're not. Their processes are actually very different. Compounding is where there's a pharmacist, private. He's cooking it himself. He's basically in the kitchen cooking this himself. They do not have the same quality control
Man, that
that these
sound
guys
that
have.
sound like they've been cooking like crack cocaine up
Yeah,
in
yeah.
that
No,
thing.
they
Like
really are. They're
niggas in there.
actually these guys are actually cooking it, and
When
they
I'm hearing
try.
cooking, I'm up here thinking back in the street. I'm up here like, what
Yeah,
they
yeah,
cooking? Man,
yeah,
when
yeah.
they
They're trying
they
to.
scientists and everything. They up here
No, they're
forming.
pharmacists. They're pharmacists. They're trying to cook it as similar as possible. Now, what they can't do is they can't make it exactly the same because they get sued for a patent violation. So what they do is that they're doing this trick where they're putting in B12, and their sellers are telling the public, "Oh, this is even better than the original, semaglutide from Wegovy or from Novo Nordisk because this has B12." I had a nurse come up to me because one of her NP friends, just gifted it to her as a compounded product, and she's like, "Yeah, this is better because it has B12 and it'll help with energy." And I'm just like, "There's no evidence of that," and they put that in there to skirt around the patent. So this is a major topic that a lot of people don't understand. It's not the same as brand versus generic. Their processes are different. Compounding pharmacy is not always the good guys here. In this case, they're trying to make a buck. It's almost like pharma piracy, so to speak. The quality control measure is not the same, and they don't, and the efficacy is not the same either. The standards used here that these guys use, that is FDA approved, is much different than what a local guy does at a compounding pharmacy. So, anyways, Mel, it was a pleasure chatting with you. We had a lot of fun. We'll definitely do it again. It's an honor and pleasure
Oh
to
yeah.
have you at our show, and I hope.
Oh, we have a lot to talk about.
We do.
We have a lot to talk
The
about.
conversation's not
The,
over.
the conversation's
It's just
not
getting
over.
started.
Yeah.
It's just getting started because we on, you know. So it's about to be on. So
Yeah, but
this is the beginning of basically like our topic is and talking. So
yeah.
thank you so much for having me.
No, thank you for coming. It's been an honor and a pleasure to have you, and I wish you everlasting success in
Likewise.
your journey.